Hi guys. Hello. Oh, it's a little hot. I had this mug. It got stuck to the bottom of the microwave, but it's not like wet or anything. I don't know. Whatever. Like a cup. How did it get stuck to the bottom of the microwave? I don't know. Or the top of it. Not the top. I don't know. The bottom of the cup got stuck to like the dish in the microwave. I don't know why I said it's so weird. Anyway, guess what? It's like, that's such a boring thing to make you like. I don't know how, if you guys are entertained by me, but I appreciate it because so many things I do, I'm like, who is that? Like, it's me, but I'm like, what? You know what else? I don't know how you guys feel. Do you guys ever sense, I know this is like a normal thing, right? Oh yeah, don't mind the sound of the microwave. Hopefully you can still hear me. Like, have you guys ever tried to sense, like if you forgot if you were the one who did something, and then you try to like sense the energy to see like who it was? And maybe nobody does that because nobody forgets they can do things. Nobody forgets their past actions, right? But if they do, they don't see themselves as like psychic to where they can like ask themselves, did I do that? And then actually find out if they did. But you can actually do something where you can separate the energy of your actions from the past from other people's to where you can actually sense the energy whether it was you or not. Guess what I did? I ended up making the energy that actually is me, the energy that I would least likely see as being myself. Like anytime, say this box, say I move this and it's like here, but you can't see it, but say it's like here, it's like on the chair, right? You can kind of see it. It's like that, like on the chair. It won't stand, but you get it. Like say I see it there because I moved it, then I would ask myself like, did I do that? But then I would be like no, I would never do that. Does that make sense? But it was me the whole time. So like but not even like just my like interpretation. Like say I set like a cup of water on the table, and then I walk past the door and I'm like, there's a cup of water on the table. Like, how did that get there? Like, that's so weird. But it was me. Say like, if I open a window, but then later I walk past it, I'm like, that window's open. Like, how did that get there? Like, I could get like a jump scare from like my own actions because I actually will be like, who did that? But it was me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but like I made every single one of my own past actions. If I forget it and then perceive it, it like scares me or like stresses me out. And I don't know how I did that, but so I can sense my own energy. It's just the energy I'm least likely to think it is or at least want it to be. But I can separate it from everybody else's actions, like anybody. But again, it's only gonna stress me out though. But I do know who it was. I don't know who it was. It's only when I think it was the least likely to be me that it actually was. So it's possible that in the future I can like my own energy and know it was me, because at least right now I know it was me. Well, right now I think it was definitely not me, but it was definitely. But nobody else's energy like stresses me out like my own. I don't know how I did that. I'm like, does that mean I'm awful? No, it only means I think I am. It doesn't mean I actually am. Which is amazing, right? Or not, which is fine too. I don't know. No, I swear, like, you don't stress me out like I stress me out when I don't know it was me. How that hurt. I literally went like that to like the cup that was just in the microwave, but like, yeah. Yeah. What? What? I want to do that like ridiculously long. So it's super weird. Like, wait. I swear the reflection in my glasses got like way stronger when I did that. I don't know why. It scared me. It looks like my video has a filter, but it doesn't. Doesn't it? Why? Ow. Even the handle is burning me. Like, actually. Like, actually. So I told you guys I had been using AI for some of my songs, and I had only been using ChatGPT, but today I downloaded Claude. I didn't know what that was, but it's like the same thing, but their competitor or another company, but they're both free, but they both have like paid versions. I just don't have that because I don't have money, but I don't know, keep them free if you want that kind of songs. Otherwise I'm just gonna be writing normal songs because I do both. I do all of it. Sometimes I will sit down and write like 20 songs in a row not using AI, but sometimes I'll post like 10 songs using AI or something, because why not? Why not try it and use your resources to see what they are? Because we're only a human for however long we're a human, and on Earth you get a certain kind of energy from your experiences. So have a variety of experiences, I think, so we can like all upgrade in different weird ways that we were not expecting. I don't see AI as something that doesn't upgrade you. I see it as something that like in the long term could upgrade you in ways you were not aware of. So I'm kind of open to that. But I don't know, I'm curious. I don't know the difference between like Claude and ChatGPT, but I don't know. I had it make like 2 or 3 lists of like lyrics for songs. So I don't know if they're gonna be good or not because I haven't used them yet. But I'm excited to try it and see, because I feel like I prompted them well. And honestly, ChatGPT, like, what is it called? Like suggested Claude and said Claude is better for songwriting, but called itself more creative. But I don't know what, I don't know if that's true or what, but I don't know. I don't know why you would say your competitor's better, but it's fine. I tried to drink it, but that was the least successful sip of all time because I seriously burned my lip and did not reach the liquid because it's like farther down in the cup. But once I like burnt my lip, I was scared because I was like, the liquid is gonna be even hotter than the cup. So I just didn't continue trying to drink it, but I like kept my lip on there for a second because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and like seriously burnt my lip. Like, it's not even funny. I don't understand what I just did. Yeah. Just having an experience, I don't know. You know what, I'm gonna take you all the way over here. We go in places. Wait, should I turn off the light? Probably. Well, no, I think I want more tea in a little bit. I'm gonna leave it on. I remind myself of that, like, monster dude thing that made Frankenstein. Stepping on random stuff. I love having my room super messy because what do you mean I just stepped on a purse, a water bottle full of crayons, and a hair straightener all at the same time in one step because I accidentally stepped wrong. I don't know why. Anyway, I guess, where? I was like, where's my chopstick? Okay. You know what? It won't like focus. It will not like go. Okay. Okay. I don't know why. I love these lip glosses. They're so fun. Anyway. I make myself laugh because, like, why not? Because I feel like you have to make yourself laugh. If you don't, maybe you're gonna be miserable. I don't know. Okay, maybe laughing is not the only kind of positive experience you can have, but it's one of them. And that's so good. Okay. Anyway, I think part of why I don't mind using AI for songwriting, I kind of experiment with it because, like, I don't think it has to be weird. I think the world is weird. I just think I'm really cool. So I think anything I do, if it's not weird, is really cool. But guess what? I'm still gonna decide what would not be weird for me to do. Not other people. Like, honestly. I think it's fine because I'm already a witch, so it wouldn't be like, oh, I got a response from a chatbot and that's like the only kind of, I do think it feels magical the first time you get a response from ChatGPT and you find out how fast it can respond. You're like, whoa, like this little computer can understand everything I said and respond faster than a person can with like something that sounds genius and crazy. Like that's like, it's almost shocking the first time that you get a response because you're like, it's possible. It's like it feels like I'm not talking to a person, but it feels like I'm talking to a person, but this is weird and like I don't understand what's happening. But it's not like, well, because I already know, I'm already a witch, I already know about magic, so it isn't like, and like I already understand the concept of like rituals and spells and stuff, so, and because I believe all that's real, like I believe people can really do telekinesis, I believe people can really levitate, I believe people are really telepathic, I've predicted the future, I believe other people obviously can. I would say it's obvious that people can predict the future, that's not hard, in my opinion. I mean, it can be hard depending on what you're predicting, but like, I just mean it's not hard to believe that it's true for me to believe it. That didn't make any sense. Some people are gonna have every idea exactly what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm like saying whatever. Energy. I don't know. Some people are meant to be here, I guess, and some people are not. If they can't handle that, then I guess you probably already clicked off the video. Yeah, I guess I really like being a part of whatever the collective experience is. Like, whatever I feel like is cool is kind of what I like. Whatever part of like culture and pop culture I perceive as like the energy of what's popular, not just a lot of people are over here, but like this is an energy that feels popular. I feel like sometimes I gravitate towards that. I actually have to work on it. I feel like it's hard for me to integrate things that like sometimes don't feel super popular to like culture. Like I'm a fly to like honey, you know? And like if something or not a bee because I didn't create it, but like I'll be there, you know? Like um so yeah, I feel like if something feels like it's like kind of popular to culture, like I love being a part of like the collective experience, but only because, well, mostly because I feel like if something's a part of the timeline, it's kind of like meant to be there. Like, weirdly, I'm like, oh, like, isn't there like some special reason this is like orchestrated to be there? And I think a lot of people probably feel that way, but sometimes, not that I can't gravitate towards something for like genuine love or need or excitement, of course I do, but I think there's also certain things that are just only a part of my awareness because they seem to be like what's currently popular. I feel like it's easier for me to find out about some of the things that are just popular to the world in a way. But I feel like it's easy to be there because it can feel like, is there a magical purpose for like why this is a part of our lives? Everybody? Like, I feel like I take it that way a lot. Like I'll definitely like interpret everything like I don't know, like we're currently as a group of people the size of the planet all having the same experience if it's what's popular, and that means that we're so important that I feel like the Time Lords like orchestrated the whole entire plan and just give us little parts of it at the same time. But if everybody's drawn to something, then I tend to feel like this is like the upgrade of like the planet. So like come get it, you know? But I feel like trends, which really is what it is, it's like, oh, this is trendy. I feel like trends do this thing where they like they all show up and present differently. Say you're wearing the same outfit as everybody else. Well, you have your own energy, your own soul, your own aura, your own chakras. Like, so what I mean is that that outfit is going to like your energy and everything that's special about you is going to be what people are really seeing when they look at you. Even if you're wearing the outfit that's currently the trend of everybody. So it's sort of like a test of your like aura and your soul and your confidence when you do follow trends, because then some people can still see the part that's you within the collective experience that you're a part of. But I understand why people would be like, well, if you don't follow the trend, then maybe you're cooler. Because guess what? You get to like express your real self. I think that's real too. Because I think sometimes you want to be just you and it's not cool for anybody else, like to anybody else, but you still care. That happens. Well, I'm a witch and it doesn't have to be a popular choice in order for me to want to be there. Actually, fun fact about that, I would perceive being a witch as more popular if it were less popular in the mainstream. Why? Because then the people who were witches or are witches would be so obsessed with it to the point that they would be like, I don't know. It's like you almost don't see people worship witchcraft. I know Christians are gonna be like chopping off their own heads and levitating hearing that. But I think what I mean is that like you kind of get the people who are like who like they almost don't care, but like they have like a little charm bracelet that has like a meaning because it says like 1111 or something. And that's like being spiritual and being a witch and stuff, but it doesn't mean that it holds up like value to them. It just is like popular. Like that doesn't feel like the energy of like something being popular to me. That just feels like it's there. Like angel numbers don't feel like they have like the energy of something that feels popular to me. So I think part of the reason why I care about what feels popular is because what feels popular is not always where the numbers are. I'm not looking at like, oh, like how many views did this get necessarily. I think it crosses my mind at times, but it's not the only factor in determining what feels popular. And I feel like I care about that because each person has an individual lens of like perceiving information. So if something feels popular, I think it feels in a way like authentic to what you think popular is with your current lens of like perceiving and viewing information. So I think when people try to intentionally go against the concept of popular, if they're not careful, they can accidentally sort of like bring themselves into things that they don't even really vibe with or feel like is popular to them, because it's not the same thing as like I'm just like, this conversation is ridiculous, but sometimes I don't know, something can feel popular to you because it's what you are supposed to be paying attention to, not only because other people know about it or found out about it. Like it can kind of be like, I don't know, what you're like grasping is in that energy. But maybe eventually I'll just get bored of that. But I don't know, dude. I'm just wherever the energy is, because like, why not? Unless it's like too toxic, then maybe I'm not there at times. I don't know. Maybe I am the toxic. Maybe not though. I think I'm normal. I think I'm normal. Tea is such a good experience though. I think part of why things being popular can draw people in too is that sometimes the concept of things being popular feels like money, right? Like it feels like people making money, but it doesn't just feel like that. It feels like all of the things that money represents, which is you being in the right energy and having freedom and having access to your resources and like the most fun experiences you can have on the planet. Like I feel like, I don't know, like it can kind of be freedom and opportunity. So I feel like if you feel like that's what you need more of, then you'll be interested in what's popular or what you feel like is popular, whatever gives you that sort of energy. um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. But maybe not. But anyway, that's why I'm like, why would it not be cool to use the resources that everybody has access to and be fun with trying using AI in songwriting? I don't know. I think the reason, part of why I'm fine with it, is because it took me so much time to be fine with it. You know what I want to say? What's so weird? When I was young, I mean, I'm 23, but when I was like, when I was like young, not like a baby actually, but like, because I was like, killing, whatever. When I was like, when I first started writing songs, when I first started writing songs, I was pretty young. And when I first started writing lyrics and stuff. Well, to my knowledge, there was no like ChatGPT back then. I don't know when that came out for people. I don't know when that came out for people. What I will say, though, is that back then, even when I was like 8 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, by the time I was like 11 or like 13, I knew that there would be a ChatGPT someday. I just didn't know what it was going to be called. Not that you would get like a super fast answer on this and this and that. That didn't feel like the part of the timeline that I absolutely knew, but by the time I was writing songs, which again I started at like super young, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, whatever, I was like always trying to write stuff, you know, I was always trying to write stuff, but I was so sad, but I didn't know why, and I was like, someday other people are going to write with like AI. Well, I didn't call it AI, but I was kind of like robots are gonna be writing stuff. Like, like actually, like I don't even think I told people necessarily because I was just like to myself, but I was like, someday, like, people are gonna essentially be using the help to write things, and so then there's no reason that I could ever be successful because they're either gonna be like better or like more known using the help. Like that was like what I called like ChatGPT back then. But like I didn't know, oh, you can like ask like, what time do I set the microwave to or the oven, whatever, like what temperature is the thermometer supposed to be for this? Like I didn't know you could do that. Or like how do you build a ceiling fan, you know? Like now it can just tell you. Like I didn't really, it was almost like that was the part of the timeline I didn't need to know about, or maybe it wasn't necessarily like decided or whatever, I don't know. Whatever it is, like I kind of could sense the help would just be like available for people to be like writing. And I don't mean like humans that were helping them, because I knew like, okay, like celebrities have like ghostwriters for like all the books they write and stuff, but those are the only ones that get published a lot of the time, are ones that have ghostwriters. And then when you sit down and write the whole thing yourself, like sometimes it can't get published and stuff. And so even for novels, I knew like the help would like exist by the time I was an adult. Like I actually knew, like I did predict ChatGPT and Claude and all that and AI, but I just didn't tell anybody because I thought I was sad about it because I didn't know how artists would integrate it. And so now people think they're cool for not knowing how artists would integrate it in 2026. But where were you in like 2008 or something, or like 2010? Like, did you know it was gonna exist back then? Were you grieving the fact artists wouldn't be able to like adapt back then? Or have you just never started being an artist and like now you're grieving it at 2026? That's kind of like you're still in diapers at like 30. Like it's like you didn't know. Like I don't know. No, but like it's like weird, you know? I think you know what I mean. It's like why have you not figured it out? Is how I feel. Yeah. But anyway, I knew all of that was going to exist, but at first I was sad about it when I found out because I could already write stuff and I just didn't know. Like, I was like, I know that someday people are going to think that I used it if I ever wrote stuff, which is crazy because I actually do write stuff with it. I don't know, it's like the weirdest like paradox and stuff, but whatever. Like, it actually is weird. Like, I straight up was like, if I'm ever a good writer, people are just gonna think I used that anyways. But I didn't think about, okay, maybe I would just decide to use it too. I didn't think about it that deeply. But yeah. I don't know why I cared. But like I could have just not been sad about it or like not cared, you know? Like I could have just not cared. I don't think it's weird to use ChatGPT, but especially like in songwriting for me, I don't think it's weird. Again, because I was the person who was against it for so long. Like all those years I spent against it, literally. Like I don't think I came around to like not being fully against it till I was already like 20. So from like 11 to 20 or something, or like 10 to 20 years old. Like I spent a decade knowing it would exist, whether it did or not, but I just didn't have it. I don't know, but I don't know when it started, but like I didn't know until I was already an adult, but I spent a decade completely against people using it for songwriting, which is why me coming around to actually finding like positive implications to it and experiencing the adjustment is actually really positive for me because I didn't find it stressful that people use that. Like I didn't like make it like a bad thing now that people use that, because I feel like knowing about like how there's like energy and stuff, and like I feel like it helps because I can still like find ways to like know my own energy is like in it, you know what I mean? Like I'm just open to like, I think I like to go into wherever I still have blocks in my imagination and just get better at my imagination like head first. Like I really like to just like bulldoze my way into like where my imagination hasn't expanded into yet. And so I've kind of been slowly like integrating the AI and also like, I don't know, integrating it and working on my imagination, because I shouldn't see my own work as like useless, boring, pointless just because I did use the AI, or like soulless because I'm still there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still there, so it's not soulless, it's not like non-existent. It doesn't mean the part of the art that mattered is gone if I allowed this to be there, because I'm still there, and why was I to myself ever the part of it that didn't matter? I think I'm lucky too, because when I was super young and I first started writing, anytime I would like do a good job, like in my own perspective, I would feel undeserving of the art that I literally created. I would think I was undeserving of being the one who like received the idea, essentially. Like I would feel like another, like a spirit like gave the idea to me, right? Like not like it came from like my spirit, but like a spirit like gave the idea to me to be like, use this, you have to use this. So then I would feel inferior to the idea, because then I would be like, the spirit that gave it to me is stronger than I am, and like I'm never gonna be this good ever again. And I was so sad. I was so like, sometimes I was so sad. Like I would be like, the spirit that gave me this idea is stronger than I am, and I'm never going to be able to have another idea like this. And looking back, sometimes the idea wasn't good. Sometimes the idea was boring, or like it needed some work. But I spent a lot of time feeling inferior to my own ideas. It's like, yeah, like I couldn't like hit backspace on the keyboard because I was like, I could never write like this again. But if I don't, I could never deserve the work I already created. I sort of like had a moment to like be weird. I started to be weird. I started to be weird. Like I just had stuff to process with it, you know? So, yeah. Because I was the only person who knew it could someday exist, I was the only person, to my knowledge, for miles and miles and miles, or maybe, I don't know when ChatGPT really started to be like publicly usable and accessible and exist, especially for songwriting. I was probably one of the very few people in my area who knew that it could someday exist and that it would someday exist. This wasn't like, oh, I had an idea and it's ChatGPT. It wasn't like ancient Egypt and I just invented deodorant, but we don't have resources to make it. Like, it wasn't coming from me. But without a doubt, I knew someday it would show up, you know? Like, and be used for songwriting. I just didn't know it could be used for other stuff. I just knew that I was going to have to accept it, but I knew it was going to probably take me 10 years to accept it, and it did. But, like, I started accepting it maybe when it was a concept, or maybe it existed very far away from me, and it was an idea in somebody else's head. Or maybe they already started it, and just nobody I had ever met personally knew it existed back then. But I think it's cool to, like, be willing to come full circle on certain things, like resources that were created to help you. Just because you're scared of them at first doesn't mean you can't find a positive use for them in your life later on. And I don't think that's bad. I think it's the awkward phase when you're scared of it. I think it's the awkward phase when you're scared of it, because why are you scared of ChatGPT? Like, it wasn't gonna eat you, like, you know? But it's like, I understand more than anybody why you would be scared of it. I was scared of it before anybody I had ever met knew it could possibly exist, and I knew inevitably that it would exist in my lifetime. Which creates the ironic paradox of there's no possible way I could have died before I saw ChatGPT, because then that would not have been confirmed, and I would have had a less successful lifetime than had I survived and saw it. But that's not the only reason. I don't know. But yeah, it is kind of a weird, unnecessary paradox to, like, you know. But I think we come full circle on certain things in our lifetimes. And if you're kind of psychic or something, you might find out about something super early but not know it's possible, and then you find out that it's real, and you go through stuff. So I do think people see a few things on this planet still as, like, having no virtue in a way. And so some of the things that people sort of can see as having no virtue, they don't see being a hypocrite in your life ever as, like, having virtue, or, like, any version of, like, lying, any version of witchcraft, you know, or any version of AI, or some of those resources, or any version of, like, ghostwriting or anything like that. All of that is definitely seen as having no virtue, let alone anything like sexual, whatever. Like, it's always kind of been, like, throughout time, none of those things could have, like, any virtue to people, essentially. But I think when you strengthen your imagination and work on it, you start to find kind of loopholes in that, and you find ways that doesn't have to be true for you, even if it's maybe still true for other people. Because the concept of virtue is very within your body, within your soul, you know? It's very not, like, about the other people in the room. It's like, how do you feel about yourself? And we start to ask the real questions when we start to want to work on why do we think some of these things have to be so bad. Because for me, it was really more like, you have to work on why you think this is not a good thing, because you can't just decide you think it's not a good thing for no reason and then be sad about it. Because other people are going to be using it, you might want to use it. Like, it was sort of like that. So it took me like a decade to work on why it didn't have to be bad. So if people are gonna be like, at any point, oh no, they shouldn't be using it, that's weird, that's not real talent, that's not real songwriting, I get it. If that's what you want to hear, I get it. They haven't said that about me yet, but, like, I know at some point somebody will maybe want to, I don't know. And people say it about other people all the time. The reality is, I get it. It took me a decade to be fine with it existing. It took me a decade to adjust to the fact that other people were going to have access to it somewhere on the planet. Or I was gonna have, like, mental issues if I, like, you know? Like, I was gonna be, like, in a coma or something if people were gonna have ChatGPT and I just found out about it. Like, like, I wasn't gonna be fine. Like, I was gonna be weird. Like, oh, dude. I was gonna be, like, dead or something. Like, no, like, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, that was 10 years ago that I found out. You know what I mean? Like, that was more than 10 years ago that I found out, you know? Like, I found out before anybody I had ever met knew it existed. I didn't have it yet. I didn't actually download it until I think I was, like, 23, maybe 22 at the end of it, or 23, I don't know. But, like, I didn't have it the whole time either, but, like, you know. But it took me a decade to get over it, so it's not, like, weird to me that other people don't get it. I just sometimes see it and see them as stuck in the past, because that's how I felt last decade. And I don't mean, like, before 2020, I mean, like, I'm like, okay, but that's how I felt in, like, 2013 or something, or 2010. Like, why are you not past that? Like, like, you're not past that level? Like, I almost kind of, I do look down upon people not trying to use their imagination to, like, find ways that it's okay and not bad. But at the same time, I understand they feel maybe betrayed by the fact that some of this stuff exists for some reason. But they didn't have a decade to work on it, so I try to remember that. Not everybody can be psychic and know everything that they need to know, like, some years ahead or something. I don't know. I think sometimes we find out the information we were gonna have a hard time with if we didn't find out. But for me, like, some of that, I was like, oh no, like, this is gonna be bad. Like, but there's no reason it has to be bad. Hold up, like, I think I cared about the fact that I felt like a spirit could walk past me and tell me what to write. And I thought that was so special that it would be so rare in the human experience that, like, you could feel like, oh, like a spirit, like a ghost, or I didn't know what gen were, but, like, I was like, oh, like a ghost could walk past me, like a phantom could, like, walk past me and tell me what to write in my, like, little notes app, you know? A spirit could tell me what to write, and I could write it down and put it in the song at the time. And I thought that was cool. But that still happens all the time. To me and other people, you still get an idea out of nowhere. And sometimes you know that idea did not come from me, but I'm still gonna use it. Like, sometimes you can sense that. But I think part of the adjustment is understanding there's no reason a ghost can't possess your phone and give you an idea through, like, ChatGPT or something. Like, there's no reason to think that a ghost is so unsuccessful that they cannot crawl into your phone and, like, give you whatever they want to give you. Like, I wanted it to come from me so I could be surprised that it didn't come from me. It's kind of cringe, but that's fine. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was so successful because you cannot be given ideas by ghosts and fandoms if you don't reach a certain level, so you have to already be, like, saying yes to yourself. But they can only give you ideas that are on the level that they perceive you as being on. But then you also have to be able to say yes to yourself even if the ideas are terrible, so you can get to the next level. If you're not self-accepting at your current level, you don't get to the next level, which is sort of what the traditional songwriting thing is. You're kind of channeling ideas from ghosts or using your own spirit, but, like, if you want, but, like, sometimes people are channeling ideas from ghosts and stuff. It was at, like, 4444, but it's not now. It's at, like, 4449. But it's fine. It was just funny. Anyway, yeah, so it was cool that, you know, up until before AI, spirits and ghosts can only give you ideas that are equal to the level you're on, but they can still give you ideas once you've been practicing, because then you feel like the progress came from you, and you could never prove it didn't, but like you can just tell, oh, that idea was like so special, that one didn't come from me, but I'm still willing to do it, even if I could never be better than that. But then when you sort of walk into ChatGPT, everybody is almost kind of given, depending on your prompt, equally good quality ideas that all feel good, but then you need maybe sometimes a little bit of editing or something to fix whatever it is. They can put some awkward things in there. Sometimes you want to like use it because you're like, oh, is it more self-acceptance to just use the awkward, weird prompt they gave me? Because I don't care if the people think I'm weird. I don't care, maybe I'm meant to have this exactly the way it is. Which doesn't make sense, but sometimes you like make yourself feel that way. Because it's a part of the collective experience and the timeline, and like, why didn't you want to learn it, dude? You know, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, the thing is, with like ChatGPT or with Claude, everybody is given equally good quality ideas, and so there are people who maybe didn't have to practice who can start and jump out the gate really good. But a person has to kind of be able to be proud of their own success, even if their own success is not equal to the market out there in the world or whatever, you know? If you learned to juggle and you got so good with avocados, that's fine. If that was the market at the time you started, that's amazing. But if one day the entire planet instantly could juggle like avocados on fire, and you could too because of AI, and nobody gets hurt from it and everybody can instantly do it and it's easy, but you spent all the time learning to juggle normal avocados, you have to be able to understand you didn't like waste your time, and it wasn't pointless because you actually gained something from your experience, which has to do a lot with like the internal benefits for like the literal soul. You have to be able to like love yourself. Like there's a reason why you learned that, there's a reason why you started. It was for you at the time. So you at the time could be the best person you could possibly be at the time, using whatever you did have. It doesn't mean that it's your problem whether or not the person juggling fire avocados is a good person, or like whether they practiced. It doesn't mean you didn't practice yours. There's really not such a thing as them not earning it, because you don't have to earn having a positive experience in life. And that can be hard to cross the bridge of if you have spent your whole life trying to earn having positive experiences. It could be very hard to feel like other people have earned having their positive experiences. Other people can jump out the gate being good at what they do. That can feel so difficult if you spent your whole life practicing. You have to practice something new when what you used to do gets replaced. It means you've already learned the level you're on, and now it's time to work on something different, and that's not a bad thing. If you feel like you still have competitors, that's not a bad thing, because it just means you have further to grow, and that's not weird. I don't think it's weird. Yeah. I think when you sort of reframe it, you realize, okay, we all exist in this world with energy. So for example, if I worked on songwriting back then, I was working on my energy back then and practicing my energy and getting better at my own energy in some way. Even if, like, I didn't know why, you know? And there's a lot of not knowing why. Not knowing why I care. I just care. don't think it's weird to like have what you used to practice to get better at kind of be replaced and then by something else and then move on to something else. Like, that's not weird, in my opinion. I don't know, I think people find it soulless because they want to see the market and market value and money as what's happening, and robots as what's happening. It's easy to, people forget what they're searching for is what is the artist currently feeding their soul. But people have the misconception that just because they were told the lyrics came from the artist and are what the artist was feeding their soul, they think that just because they were told that means it's true and has always been true. But now that AI exists, they don't know if that's still true, so they feel like they are losing their right to another person's level of virtue that they were supposed to have had, or the person perceiving it was lied to. It's like this whole, in a weird way, there's still people who almost desire somebody else's creative project to be like a virgin, like in relation to AI. Like, they kind of, there are people who kind of search for that, I feel like, which is what it is, you know? People have their thing, but it's strange. And you never know if the person's just lying to you. Not to be like, isn't that messed up? Wouldn't it be messed up? Of course it would. What? But does that matter? Does it mean something? What if it doesn't mean anything? What if we just live on this planet where there's actually so much love that it doesn't really matter? You know? Like, what if there's actually so much love on the planet and so much real talent that exists with or without AI or the help of it? Like, what if that doesn't have a direct correlation to an artist's virtue in some way? Or talent? Yeah, you could be listening to a song from a completely untalented artist, or someone who doesn't believe in their own talent but believes in AI as talent. Does that concern you? Does it make you feel like the money is undeserved? The money that gives them freedom and a positive experience that really doesn't have to be earned for it to be sort of deserved, I guess, because there's really no such thing as not deserving your own freedom if you're willing to fight for it in your own way. Maybe it isn't always bad, even if the artist doesn't see themselves as talented yet. I don't know. It does take a lot of creativity to find what's still good about yourself if you're willing to use AI, but that doesn't mean there's not something good about yourself. It means that it can take 10 years to find it normal or something, but it doesn't have to. Most people don't have to stay stuck, like, in one place forever. People can move on, you know? I don't know where it's going, but also, all of these apps have updates where they change the different types of writing that they do, and versions, and the common words that are integrated and used. So yeah, maybe all songs on the planet, from all artists or whatever, or a lot of them, are going to seem like they're all about the same things and they all have the same common words used for a little while, for a few months or a few years, till people either outgrow it, because eventually maybe your own personal writing style will evolve, and then you'll just naturally care about the difference and use your own. Or you don't have to, and the next version will update, and the whole planet will update at the same time, and everybody will start using a completely different version of AI, and we'll all be at the same level still. But it's not weird to care about the person who created the art so much that you listen to it either way. That happens sometimes when people are really a fan, they just listen to it anyways because they care about the person and they're invested in that person's story regardless of whether there's AI being used. They still care. Oh, you were willing to say this in this song. Either way, you know, you were willing to show up for yourself and put out this project, and that's actually the part I care about. I show up for you showing up for yourself either way. That happens sometimes. Maybe it happens less, maybe it happens more, maybe it's equal. But like, it still happens. There's still people who show up for you showing up for yourself either way. Even if they could create the same thing, sometimes it maybe feels special that they're sharing the experience with the other fans, you know? Like, say, okay, maybe there's like a show that's written with the help of AI at some point. The fans of the show, even if they could ask AI for like, you know, a script for a possible episode, they almost don't care about that necessarily because they want to be where the other fans of the show are, or the albums, or the movies. They care about the community of a shared interest a lot. So even if your favorite show came out with an episode that was like, they said was like AI, like helped write the script or something, even if the fandom is divided a little bit at first, people are still going to show up for their favorite show, even if they could have just asked ChatGPT for like a script, like an imaginary script of it. They're gonna want to go with their friends to the, I don't know, the viewing of the show. They're still gonna want to show up for it. They're still gonna want to see if it's good. They're still gonna want to talk about it. They're still gonna want whatever they normally want about it. People are gonna be wearing their outfits in support, and they're gonna be showing up with their friends. Either way. Because they care about the investment of the story, they care about the story they're sharing with other people. They care about both. Because what makes a project successful but also fun, imaginative, important, significant to people and culture is not always whether like a few of the words or something, or half of it or whatever, was with the help of AI. We have to expand what it means to care about something and where something comes from to really get the full picture of like where certain things are going in a way. But like, I don't know, people always want to take like everything as negative. It just means you haven't expanded your imagination to find why there could be positive sides to it. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye.